Hi, and welcome back to the third session. Today, for me, is a very special episode because the person we are going to talk with and you're going to see is someone that I know for many, many years. He is Italian like me, and I want to say something that usually the big, renowned SEO experts are from countries like United States, UK, obviously because English is their native language. But there are so many wonderful super expert SEO in the world and working in the field for many, many years. And one of them is this person I'm going to present you. I knew him almost 20 years ago by chance, and he was already doing videos on YouTube. I don't even know if YouTube was owned by Google in that moment. And he's one of the probably the biggest evangelist of the good practices of SEO. He's a fast, forward thinking person. Many of the things that I also share with all of you are substantially a consequence of my conversation with this person. And I founded the most successful SEO forum in Italy, which during the year transformed itself into a big educational movement with many events. One of them, Search Marketing Connect, which is probably one of the oldest SEO conference still active in the world. This person is Giorgio Taverniti, and I'm really happy to have you here. Giorgio, how are you doing?
Thank you, Gianluca, for your words. And for me, it's an honor to be here. I'm okay. It's a little bit warm in Bologna, but everything is okay now.
Perfect. It's really hot here in Valencia too. So, starting with a question that I ask to all my guests. How SEOs treating you during this past month?
Incredible well. We are very lucky because only a few clients have a little decline by AI overviews. And so I really read a lot of English topic around that topic. The impression grow very up and clicks go down. And we have only one client in that situation. So to me, we are very lucky by now. We still looking for some changing in the few months, but I'm very lucky now.
Oh, yes. Surely you're lucky. But I think that there is this specific situation of a big decoupling
Yeah.
as it being defined first by Darwin Santos and then popularized thanks to Barry Schwartz, is something that is particularly affecting informational website,
Yeah, information.
not something that really transactional website are seeing on their screen. And talking about all these changes, and maybe I want to put them in context to a definition that I use also in this investor session series quite many times, which is the concept of liquid search. You are the person who substantially invented this definition. Would you like to explain it to our public?
Okay, yeah, thank you for this question. So what we are seeing now, what is happening right now, it's really the natural result of the last chapter of the my book, Google Liquido, and the liquid internet. And what it's happening right now, if we want to make briefly the concept, I can make you think about e-commerce. So if you have an e-commerce product and you want optimize for Google's in maybe 10, 15 years ago, what you do? You take vertical search engine of Google. So your product page for search, your images for image search, your feed for shopping. But the liquid concept that I wrote about questioned that it might be wrong. The correct approach is to optimize core information, so the entity, the product data, at its source and feed it to Google. Then Google maybe will deliver it in the shape they choose. That's the really concept. So all the SEO want to optimize everything in vertical Google search engine, but you have to think at the source of your data, at the source of your page, and optimize everything at the first. Because Google, when have and store the information after they change the shape of every content. And you can think also an article. So we make an example of e-commerce product page, or but you can think an article. An article 10 years ago, you have only Google search, and now you have Discover. But the article is the same. The form, the shape that Google delivered to the user changed. So you have to optimize that in the principle at the source, not after. And so this is my concept that I wrote a book about this concept.
Yes, and I think that now with the last step in terms of Google of AI search, this could be also another thing when we talk about our content as
Mm.
the source data for Google to reshape as it wants. We are going to obviously talk about how the content is formatted more than written, formatted in order to be reused by AI overview, AI mode for the chunk in terms of chunks. So
Yeah.
of very uh, very
Louis,
clear.
if you think, that the step further of that we are everybody now have seen is that with AI, Google deliver your information, the information that you create, not just in any shape it choose, but also in the essence. So in English, to me, this idea is very difficult to explain. In Italy, we have forma and sostanza, no? And so in English, you have shape, form, and maybe essence. I can think. So it's not longer just show, okay, your image or your product page. It take the essence of your information, combines it with others, and then generate the answer entirely new. Today, Google is liquid in every really in every piece of Google. So that's really an evolution. And to me, we have to change mindset. So we can't talk about queries. We have to talk for sure about search session. And when we talk about Google, we can talk about only, okay, the shape, also the essence, because we AI overview and AI mode, you read everything new. You read the word that Google create is new, but it's create for every content that everybody in the internet are writing. So that's a really big change for me.
And in the concept of liquid, so moving from you also move from the concept of liquid search inside Google. You will also move it to what can we call as omni-channel liquid search, because this was already coming out, I think, a couple of summers ago when the former head of search of Google was alerting about how the younger generation started to use more Instagram and especially TikTok for certain types of searches. So this is also things that we must consider, especially now that the sources, the, the environments where we can do a search, people can do a search, are exploding as they were 25, 30 years ago when we had several search engines working with somehow the same amount of market share.
Yeah, for create a new mindset, I say that you have to stop thinking about Google's intent, and that we know about the search engine quality rate page, search quality rate page, the informational, and so on. And you have to start to think about internet intent. It's a really different shape of your mindset. Yeah, okay, Google is not only the only search engine, but we have a lot of other websites. So when people using AI, when AI system, Gemini, ChatGPT, or also Google in a AI overview, they don't look up for informational or commercial content. Yeah, they look up for a little percent of the total of the query of the prompt, but a lot of that search another intent. To me, I call it resolutive intent. So people have a problem and they want a solution. This is the resolutive intent. And the content that we create to address AI system or internet in general by now is resolutive content. To me, it's a very a mindset change. Imagine if you want to I don't know, you want to buy a sofa. So you have a sofa, you want a three-seater, completely removable covers, maybe with headrest. Now, after 40 headrest is very okay. Maybe you want this sofa higher than 15 centimeter off the ground because you have the vacuum robot you can pass underneath. So how were you used to do with Google before? It's difficult. You type 4 or 5 words and you go on the website, maybe apply filter, and good luck for finding your information. But how do you do it now? You do it simple AI or deep research and you can find yourself a but for e-commerce, you need to create a PDP with a lot of structured data for have this answer. They have to contain that information, and this is very good for the resolutive intent. However, there are many websites on the internet. You can still create content for informational or commercial intent for Google, but you can also start to thinking about the resolutive content for AI. Don't forget other intents. To me, the most powerful because SEO think and when start to have the mindset, think a lot of Google. I think the classical intent, but the most powerful intent right now on internet, not on Google, not on Bing or not in ChatGPT, is the inspirational one. Where you're looking for inspiration, you go on YouTube or TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, or Google Discover. So the inspirational intent is completely different. You can't optimize the same way that you were used to do with informational intent. So if you go to inspirational internet, you don't use the keywords. Don't use the boring keywords. Oh, sofa, three seated. You use surprise. You use maybe persuasion. Open TikTok or Google Discover. Pay attention to the title, or if you open a video, pay attention to the first second of the video. I think you can start to see that. You have to rethink your content. So if we go back to the sofa, you open a video, the video starts, oh, I found something I can't even imagine. An incredible sofa. So if you want to provide a good service in the future, you have to start to think how other internet's intents. Resolutive and inspirational to me is very, very important.
Yes, totally. And I think reminding me of the classic topic of being present in many patents of Google of the concept of beneficial input, purpose.
Yeah.
Because obviously you can well target with your content based resolutive intent, as you call it, or inspirational intent, as you call it. But then you have also to provide, to justify, to prove that you are the right source when people already land on, on your sources. And this is maybe the things that many SEO forgot when talking about the classic famous user signal as an indicator of the quality of a page.
Yeah, and also if you read a lot of patent that Google have, I remember one. It's called watch time based ranking on search. It's incredible. It's the same of YouTube. So when you go on inspirational intent, Google want to know if your content is a good content for people stay on the platform. If you go on YouTube and you study the algorithm of YouTube, you can see the algorithm try to understand which video try and to stay you in the platform to
Mhm.
try to
And
attract you in the platform for more time for and Google have a patent to do the same on the search engine result page. That is incredible. So this patent is to me very important. Go inside Google, describe very well that, and Google said, if we go on the page, we want to know if you have a video on the page, we want to know how much time people spend on that video on your page, how many time people spend on reading content, how much time people spend on embedding audio in your page. So to me, it's very important when you speak about Google to understand that Google is not only a search engine, it's a great ecosystem, and the concept of inspirational intent is not only in the social media, it also in the search engine.
Talking about these new environments, we have now ChatGPT, we have Claude Anthropic, Perplexity, and many others. The Chinese one, but I don't remember the name because it's I
Deep
never
deep sick.
DeepSeek.
Yeah.
Oh, we have also Grok,
We
even
have
if I
Grok.
don't. But okay, and we have Gemini,
Yeah.
which is embedded in Google
Yeah.
Search. So, what do you think of all these new platform, and why do you think that Google is going to win the race?
So I think Google now have Gemini 2.5, and in many sector it's very it's a leader. And I think I want to wait the summer because I know that OpenAI want to launch ChatGPT 5, and to me can be a good point. But Google have an ecosystem. I talk with a lot of people and people that working on big tech, and one of people that working on Meta say, okay, said to me, okay, it's incredible AI of Meta, it's incredible AI of OpenAI, but the ecosystem that Google have, it's too much. If you have Gmail, Workspace, YouTube, you can do whatever you want, and people stay really sticky. I don't know how to say. If you have a Google ecosystem and you have Workspace and you have all the documents inside, and you have Gmail and you have YouTube, and Google launch AI based on that, and you can make something on that. I use Gemini on spreadsheet. I use Gemini on Google presentation, and it's very good. I think people can change that. So we can see also the use of search engine with AI overview and AI mode. Sander Pichai said that in India, I think AI overview delivered 10% or query more, I think,
Mhm.
because Indian people, when to me, it's very clear. When you start to use Google with the AI, you do a lot of query more because you understand that, oh, Google now it's good. Because after ChatGPT, after Perplexity or wherever, when people start to use ChatGPT and go back on Google, I think, there is something wrong with Google. Google is not answering me anymore. And so go on ChatGPT. But we have to understand that Google have a billion of users that every month use Google. So if if the race starts now, Google win for sure because they have a billion of users that start to use it for the first time in their life AI from Google, not from ChatGPT. And we forgot the internet ecosystem. We forgot that we don't have. I think that 50% of the population of the world don't use internet. I think about this data, and we know that ChatGPT have a lot of users, but we don't know how many people start to use AI for the first time in their life from Google. I think a lot of people out there for the first time use Google, and so to me, Google is one of the leader of the future in the AI.
And I think that a couple of days when before yesterday, when you're going to see this episode, I read also a study shared by Will Reynolds that it was comparing the use of ChatGPT
Mm.
2024 with 2025. 2024, yes, a lot of people were using ChatGPT not as directly for only for search, for classic. as a therapist for doing, creating, joking, stupid search, coding a lot,
Yeah.
etc., etc., etc. But there was, let's say, search was in the second or third position. Compared to this year, in this year, the search, what we could consider a search, like the search about the sofa you did before, is went down in the ranking of the
Mm.
uses people have of ChatGPT. So I think I think it can be good or not AI overviewing some of the answer. But I think that even for the younger generation, what is changing is not the where to do a search, but
Mm.
how to do a search.
How to do a search. Yeah. That's the point. And I want to add something. Now, we really don't know how people are using search with AI. And we don't know how the young generation and the future generation use AI. That's the problem. We we create an incredible study. I love when he makes study, he make article. I read a lot of article from him, but really we don't know the future. That's the problem. It's not same before. Search engine, it's very simple to use. If you think about the user, how we improve to use Google search, we don't in 15 years we don't make a very different change. Okay, we start to use one or two word queries, and then we use three or four word queries, and after, oh, Google have a new features, I can search a restaurant near me. But the culture of the people that use search engine is very low. The people don't know how to use very well Google. Don't know that there are a search operator, for an example. But with AI, change everything, because the more you use, the more you have a big culture. You can improve your skill by using them. It's different. It's not the same with search engine. We now are looking something that we never seen before. That's the point. That's for me is the point. So uh, I want to stay update to in many study, but with the focus on people, with the focus on the human of the people that are using AI, because I think that the use that people maybe can do in 3 or 4 years ahead now is completely different that we expect or that we are doing now. So I'm not surprising about the therapist one or something about talk with somebody pretending to be somebody, talking to ChatGPT, pretending to be a therapist or a friend, because we are alone. The growth of YouTube channel, the solo channel with the people that playing gaming and a lot around the world, to me, I look at them and I say, okay, people are alone. They don't have friends to play together and become friends of one people that open YouTube channel and start to play. In Italy, to me, it's pretty clear like that. And so I'm not very surprising about the research with Reynolds, and I want to see 2026 what he discovered in the future.
Yes. Okay. So let's try to move to a more practical field. We agree that the search behavior is changing. So it's also changing one, how people do the search, but also with interaction of AI search, let's consider now Google, but it could be, for instance, in terms of search engines, could be also being Copilot. AI treats content in a different way. So than it was before. You already started to talk about these kind of things, but let's try to go a little bit deeper, especially because now the searches, because of what we know how Google treats and reconsider these long conversational searches with the concept of query fan out, which is applied more deeper in AI mode, but in a light mode also in AI overview. And I suspect because there are already extensions in Chrome that can you show you that show you the same thing happening on ChatGPT. So conversational query reformulated in 25 shorter, more digestible query to create the corpus of sources that will be used for the answer. So we are really cannot anymore just target one specific keyword for one page. How can SEO and business owners must rethink things like architecture, content creation, different use of formats because of this substantial impossibility to understand what are the queries that are behind the implied by the conversational query.
Oh yeah. So it's a very good question. That I think, okay, if you want to make some test, it's fine. But if you want to change everything in your strategy, now I think you can do. You have to stop, test, and study. Because AI has completely transformed search habits. It's not just a new features, it's a really whole new world. So the most important thing to me at the moment is to study the way people search for information, and which you can do by two ways: external data and internal data. External data, we have Google Search Console. It's the only reliable platform. No other tool can be reliable on that. Google have every data. We can trust other tool now. And the internal data is the most important to me now. For website that have a lot of traffic, you need to install your own ChatGPT or Gemini, basically like search engine, internal search engine. There is not better place to study how people are searching in your website. There is no better place than your own website. You have your audience, and if you have your ChatGPT or your Gemini, you can study that, and then you can think about the strategy. Sure, you have to understand the query funnel system. You have to try to create content. Okay. But when you study how people are search for information with the AI system, I have an idea what you have to do. And to me now, and I'm testing, the key of everything is relevance. Like before, the relevance is really the key. So, but why you have to think why is the key. With AI, search engine can understand better user queries. That's no doubt about that. And user now can create a very long query. So I test this one, and to me, it's very important. You must to create comprehensive contents. And when you create, let's go back on the sofa. You create PDP. You create this PDP, and the normal PDP of the sofa have images, have description, the price, some structured data, okay, and maybe a description. But if you create a comprehensive content, and so, and you create a video, 3D, FAQ, long description, technical description, answer to all the questions that user create in your customer care about that sofa, and you create a very resource, not only one content, a resource of that PDP. So with that, you can address inspirational intents, because you can create a video. You can address informational intent, commercial intent, resolutive intent. So it's true to me that now the first thing that you have to do is to study how people are use search with AI system. If you want to have a lot of data about that, you have to create an internal AI system, an internal ChatGPT or Gemini, but also you have to create a lot of content, comprehensive contents, because only if you have a lot of contents, you can have a lot of data. If you don't create content, you lose the opportunity to study how people are searching for.
You describe substantially an Amazon product description page.
So look at Amazon. How can Amazon apply the AI easily for Amazon? Have a lot of data, a lot of answer in the PDP, a lot of FAQ, have everything. And Amazon now can create. They have an assistant, in an AI assistant, but Amazon can do everything now because have data on page, have data on the database, and have data of users. So yeah, you think Amazon. You have to think about that.
They don't use structured data.
No.
This is one of the most when people know this, they usually are surprised. But they don't use structured data, but they structure their
Yeah.
own data
Yeah.
on semantically in the format of the page, and how the product pages are and the category pages have been created, that structured data is not needed because the search engines understand perfectly how it is organized, the content. So but this the price, this is the variation of the price, but this is the single review with the name of the reviewer, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah, when you have a website like Amazon, it's a brand. Google creates a tailored algorithm to address the content. So I remember a patent about forum. Google created a patent in 2004 about forum that study about the quality of every single topic on the forum. And after, Google calculate the quality of all forum based on the media of the quality of the single topic. And Google create an algorithm specific for forum, specific for blog. And when you have like Amazon, Google create like a spider also to try to crawl correctly every platform that have a lot of data. Now is crucial to think about Wikipedia.
Oh, totally, totally. And you, as I was saying in my introduction, you are using YouTube substantially. I mean, I think that, well, you are also in the program of a YouTube
Yeah, PM,
uh,
PE,
expert.
product expert. I'm using YouTube start on May 2006.
So just okay, you were 1 year after it was invented.
Yeah,
Substantially.
yeah. A
So
few months later.
yeah, yeah, I think that YouTube should pay you for for being such a long time creator. So one of the things that I was reflecting about, because as seen almost 2 years ago already, the helpful content update destroyed many independent publisher but never recovered. And actually, AI overview, yes, it's eating a lot of traffic, potential traffic to independent content creators in terms of textual
Yeah.
content creator, so bloggers or even small publishers and so on. I know that this is not the correct solution, the one that can make them return, especially economically, to a good shape. But I was thinking, maybe maybe it's too late now. It should have been done before. But maybe the only way this publisher can follow is to study YouTube creators or even TikTok creators. So this
Yeah.
kind of person that are able with their own content to create community and to monetize on community instead of monetizing only on random visitors thanks to Discover, for instance.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Publisher are now in trouble, and the economics model is not fit with the internet today. The economics model of the editorial, every website based on editorial style have a problem. In Italy, we have a good example of that. It's Il Post. It's a very good paper, and over 50% of the income came from subscription. That's the way. If you go on other model and you want to have money from, I don't know, page view impression like that, I think you lose your trust, the trust that you have with the user, because you have to create content that address a lot of page view, and to do that you have to create some clickbaits. To me, this is very clear. Il post in Italy, the money come from subscription. So looking to a creator, you can see how to create content. And in the future, to me, it's very important to have creator inside your companies, inside your journal, inside everything, because it's a very completely change of mind, create content for YouTube or TikTok. And there are a few example of like fan page or something like that in Italy that have a good fan base on YouTube and TikTok also, or Instagram, and they do a lot of information on Instagram. And the young generation don't read a journal and read a paper, or go on Instagram and watch a video, for example. So you have to think about that. And if you don't approach this environment with the content strategy that have the content creator, you lose your community. Because on that environment, on YouTube, on TikTok, is the community that have a power, not the brand of the journal. So I think that we can study a lot of content creation, a lot of content creator, and try to create a strategy that fit our strategy now. Because I don't know, the paper are in trouble in with AI overview, for example. I see that big paper don't have much trouble with AI overview in Italy, because the traffic of the journal came from Google Discover. Near 70% of the traffic of the journal came from Google Discover. The journal don't know. That's another story. But the traffic came from Google Discover. And if you think about Google Discover, it's an audience based environment. So if you have a website with a good brand and you create news, if you create also a video, you have a double on audience. That's the way you have to think, because you have the audience on YouTube and the audience on Google Discover. I many times, it's happened to me that I read an article from one of the famous website in Italy. Then I open Google Discover and I see that article on Google Discover. Because when I start to read on the website, Google know that I start to read on that website. And I am a part of that audience. If I open another other environment property by Google, Google know and Google show the content. So a good strategy is to create a strategy of content creation, and you can address the inspirational intent. If you have also a website and you try to mix these two, you double your audience. You have a bigger audience on Google Discover, a bigger audience on YouTube. And with the AI, if you want to push really hard on that, you can also create a podcast. Also, you create a vertical newsletter. So the journal have to start to think and base everything on content creation, on good content creation, to create a community and to make a power on the content that they already had. And to me, that's a good shift for paper, for journal.
And that make me also think to an evolution that we know is going to come, which is this hyper-personalization of search. Not that it's not personalized already, but it's going to be even more personalized. So if we are able to engage, to create, improve, I know it can be long, take a long time, but if we are able to create a good returning community of customers, readers, watchers, whatsoever, this means that our content is going to be considered for new searches that maybe can be satisfied but also by our content for this audience. And this can be a way to improve the effectiveness of all the content creation that we are going to do. Sure, it is that as if, let's say, 20 years ago, started the era of 25 years ago or more, the era of SEO, and we started to create content to rank, and
Mhm.
especially targeting more than thinking the user. I'm not talking of everybody, but a big part of the internet, of the people creating websites on the internet, thought about targeting Google more than targeting your audience. So, and which it wasn't so before Google, especially because before Google, you targeted your personas and your audience and try to seduce it against other competitors. And now we are substantially returning to that.
Yeah, we are substantially returned to that. And I said that you have to start to think first your audience. You have to try to create a good website or a good app, and you have to create a people that interact with that, so community. And when people start to interact with your website, the browser know that Chrome, for example, or the smartphone, Android. And for Google, you are a people that interact with that website. It's a new audience. So if you change website and if you go in the Google property, is the same audience, and Google show you the content. And when you go to hyper personalization, how you call it, I want to make a little step further about search session that I know are very fun, and me too. We are a fan of search session, and there is another step: the continuous interaction. Because with AI search, we cannot consider something that start and finish, and that's its session. So okay, today I start to search for vacation in Thailand, and maybe another week I search for hotel in Thailand, and maybe another month I book and fly. Okay, that's search session, start and finish. With AI, the thing is really new, and we start to treat Google or ChatGPT like an assistant, and we have a continuous interaction with with an environment that change based on what we search, what we prompt. So that's why before I said that in the few years we become a very good people with good culture in how to create a prompt, because we now start to understand that we can do a long queries. That changed completely our mind.
I think that the concept is underlying concept of changing that is changing session as an idea is the concept of memory, because it's easier using ChatGPT as an example. In ChatGPT, we can create project. Let's say that the project is our search session. We start a search session with a project. Or if we have good memory and don't create a project, we start a conversation and then we are able to review, to refine it, even very, very old conversation, scrolling the infinite scroll of conversation we had, which is not possible with Google. It's possible with Gemini. But let's say we create a project, and let's say the project about a vacation to Thailand. And so you started there, you practically forget about it, but not ChatGPT. So when you return, ChatGPT also has in store. And then one of the things that it could be the similar of a advanced search operator, you can tell, for instance, to Gemini, to ChatGPT, please ChatGPT, next time we talk, remember I want to explore this and this and this, because not, for instance, now I don't have the time to continue the conversation. And ChatGPT will respond, okay, memory saved, and you can go consulting what are the memories that he saved. So yes, this is where I think that hyper personalization is based on memory.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I don't remember how many times I go back on ChatGPT on Gemini and open that chat and ask other things. But yesterday I opened a old chat that I had with the Gemini, maybe 2 months late, 2 months ago, maybe. To me, it's very clear that, and also sometime I study myself. I look myself from external like an entity. I opened a chat with Gemini because yesterday I opened my camera and I talked with Gemini to help me to fix some problem that I have with this microphone. So this morning I opened the same chat with also my camera. So not also the text, you have a continuous interaction. You have with everything. So with AI, the assistant AI, I think that we have every time open a conversation with AI, and now we go back on the single chat to create the context, or go on ChatGPT and create a project. But in the future, I think you can start a chat or Google search without go back on some conversation.
It's because it will have a memory and recover it. And let's go talking about something that is really dear to you. From the very beginning, as I was saying, you created this forum, GT forum,
Yeah,
and then all these events around Italy. And well, there is the spin-off of We Are Future, which is somehow related to also to you, even if it's more the son of your business partner, Cosmano Lombardo, which
yeah.
is an event that is spreading also out of Italy. But how much is important to continuously educate SEO the right way? We're constantly educating SEO and constantly educating yourself. How much is important the educational factor in our industry?
It's a crucial one. It's a crucial one. When we start many, many years ago and we do a free tour, so people don't pay ticket, we go all around Italy to try to speak to people how Google is important, how marketing is important, and how SEO is important. Maybe in 2004, 2005, we start with that, and in Italy, there is not SEO. So, and year by year, I can say that became more important because it's now, if you open LinkedIn right now, I read a lot of confusion about that. And why it's important to continues to educate about this important sector? Because the companies brand now in this moment are really stable. The companies can't move because they read every day on LinkedIn one thing, another day read another thing.
So yes,
Yeah,
companies are paralyzed by
yeah, paralyzed. Thank you. A company as paralyzed, they don't invest because they don't know how to invest, where invest. And why is that? Because many people on LinkedIn are confusing entirely internet. If you open LinkedIn and you want to read something about AI, everybody tells one thing, and you can start another post to read and have the thing is completely different from the one that you read before. It's incredible. So education in this sector, it's very important. My dream is to have a like a school that you can teach other people that have higher level. So we are a few people that do SEO. We don't have a lot of people. We think that in Italy have maybe 1,000 people that doing SEO, 10,000 people, but to me maybe we are really 300 or 400 that do that thing at a high level. I think my dream is have a school for these people, not to teach them, to everybody create a brainstorming and speak to each other in how we have to communicate this thing in every community. Because one of the confusion of this sector is that we speak the same word but we have a different meaning. I think in every sector, but in SEO, to me, it's very, very high the level of that. So it's very important. It's very important. Companies are really paralyzed right now. AI create a lot of confusion, and people don't know how to invest, where to invest. So I think when I don't know how to say, but if I think what I want to do in the future, or I think
Mhm.
when I have 100 years, it's the same way of now. So I want to educate people. I want to search. I want to study. I want to share with the community what I studied. That's the way I see me in the future.
That's a great way to see yourself.
Yeah.
And I will be there to see you in 100 years.
Well,
So, okay.
1 year, I don't stay here.
Well, we will be, well, we'll be still fantastic because also health and medicine is evolving, not just AI.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah. So let's finish our conversation, which was a great conversation, almost 1 hour conversation, with a couple of personal questions. Okay, you were born in Monasterace, I'm correct?
yeah, yeah. Right.
So let's think that you are not an SEO. You are someone in the travel industry and you have to sell Monasterace to the international public that is watching us.
Yeah.
What will you, how would you promote your hometown?
Perfect. So I promote my town like that. Imagine of Thailand beach, okay? The most beautiful beach in the world. And you imagine that beach a lot with a lot of people. You can came in Monasterace, you have the same beach, but no people are there. So to me, it's the perfect image of try to promote my town, because in my town and in the town of also in town near Monasterace is Calabria is the region, and we are in the we call Costa Ionica. Is like there are a lot of little town. You don't see also in the summer a lot of people going the beach, and we are a very good place if you want to chill out and you want to rent a car and you want to go in any beaches you want, and nobody tell you nothing. You can go, you are free. So my country in my town, it's free vacation. It's very, very economic. So I have my cousin that live in Toronto. If you live in Toronto, you can go in Frank's Pizza House. The names of my cousin is Giorgio Taverniti, like me. He is older than me. And when he came to Monasterace, he said, if you do advertising on USA, in North America, maybe you can make full your country of people of North America, because it's very cheap and people are very happy, people are friendly, and you feel very free on that town to do whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. You don't need to book nothing before you go, because it's all free beaches. So that's my town.
And talking about countries, in the past if I remember well, you lived
Yeah,
even in Thailand,
yeah, I live
and
in
you
town.
always told me about how much beautiful is
Yeah,
living there.
yeah,
What and that, we know that Thailand is one of a destination for many SEO living the
yeah.
digital nomad life. So what do you remember of Thailand with a special tender love and pleasure?
Yeah, yeah. Thailand, to me, Thailand is like a family. Also, when I went the first time in 2004, and after 10 years, we start to talk about digital nomads and something like that. And I go in Thailand for many years, maybe 15. And if I think about how much time I spend in Thailand, maybe it's 4 years. The most thing that I have in my heart is people. It's incredible people, open-minded and very friendly people. I really miss that thing of the Thailand. Not places, not beaches, not the weather or something. I miss people. They are very, very good people. And now about 4 or 5 years before COVID, I went for the last time before COVID. I remember when I I fly and I land in not in Bangkok, in Krabi. I spend a lot of time in Krabi. I start to cry because I feel like at home.
Mm.
I feel at home in a few places in my life, and one is in Thailand.
And last question. What Giorgio Taverniti does when he's not thinking about search, SEO,
Ah,
Google AI,
theater.
theater?
Yeah, I'm. I don't know how to say in English. Pedagogist. It's right. I
Yes, yes,
like a trainer
yes.
for actors. Yeah,
Ah.
I studied from 10 years now. Yeah, 10 years, and yeah, now I am like a trainer and also in educational field, Gianluca. No, no, the theater. It's like a ritual. Theater. If the good theater give you your home, it's incredible. If you are somebody, theater can tell you if it's true or not. And so when I don't do SEO, I do theater. And now I study as a trainer, pedagogist for actors, and I really love that because it's a place that you can see really what people are. You can touch and see with your eyes what we are. When you stay or you live in the city, more conversational or more friends are very in superficial one. Superficial, it's okay in English, no,
Yep.
Jaluka? Yeah.
Yes.
So when you have a relationship outside your office, outside in the street or wherever you want, it's a superficial relationship. When you stay in the theater and you start to training, you go deep, 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 deep. It's a deeper relationship. You can see people, and in our world after COVID, after social media, after AI, the relationship between people became more distant. We are very distant. Theater helped me to see what people are, and I can touch people. And not also with the hand is not.
I totally understand you because huh, I did theater too, many, many years
Ah,
ago. And when I was in university for many, also a few years after. And one thing that you have to do if you want to be a good actor, even if you are being an actor, you are acting as somebody else, you must transmit truth from your acting. And to transmit truth, you must be true yourself.
yeah,
This is what you are saying substantially.
yeah, yeah. Thank you for explain better than me.
No, 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 no. It's something better.
No, yeah,
It came to my mind. And Giorgio, thank you for having spent this hour with me and with our public or listeners, because you know this session can be watched on YouTube and on our blog, but also listen it on Spotify. Thank
thank
you again, and let's see a new episode with you in the future.
yeah, thank you, Gianluca. Was an honor to me.
You're welcome. Thank you to you for having been here with me with Giorgio. And remember, this is the classic YouTuber stuff that I don't really like, but I have to do. Remember to ring on the bell, give it a like to the video, and subscribe so you are going to be advised for when a new episode is coming out. Thank you and bye bye.